DJ Moore and other Chicago Bears players have come to the defense of Justin Fields since the Bears' fourth quarter collapse in Cleveland. We're going to dive into this here on today's episode of Bears Now by Chat Sports. My name is Harrison Graham, and DJ Moore has kind of led the charge here because for whatever reason, not whatever reason, he's been asked multiple times in the last 24 hours, what do you think is going to happen at quarterback? Are they going to keep Justin? Should they draft a quarterback? Which, by the way, does not put DJ in a good situation. It's pretty unfair, for being completely honest. But here's what he said last night via the Marquee Sports Network. He said, y'all asked me that last week? I'm still like, bro, where are y'all seeing this? What makes him not a good quarterback for the Chicago Bears right now? I get everyone is coming out, and there's two of them, talking about Caleb Williams and Drake Maye. I don't think they're better than Justin. Then again this morning on 670 The Score, I don't really see how they can say he isn't the quarterback for the Chicago Bears right now. He's been doing everything that's asked of him. The growth has been phenomenal. At the end of the day, I'm standing by what I said. So they basically asked him, hey, you said this last night. Do you stand by that? And he said, yes, I do. I see him every day, and this is what I see. Look, there's two sides to look at this, in my opinion. Number one, what else do you expect DJ Moore to say when asked about his quarterback? Everything we know about DJ Moore is that he's a team guy, he's a classy guy. He's not going to go up there and be like, yeah, man, Justin sucks. Let's go draft a quarterback. So I think there's some legitimacy to that. I will say, though, if you listen to the tone and just the body language of when he answers this question, I think there's a lot of truth to bullet point number 2 here. He believes in Justin and thinks that they're building something together. We've seen it. And guess what? DJ Moore has played with a lot of bad quarterbacks in this league. Say what you want about Justin Fields, he's having the best year of his career with Justin. He knows what playing with bad quarterbacks is like in Carolina. So, yeah, there's better quarterbacks out there. And, yes, they may draft Caleb Williams or Drake Maye, and one of those guys could be an upgrade over Justin Fields. But I understand if DJ Moore is like, whoa, I finally have someone I have good chemistry with. I don't want to try something new yet again. So, yes, I think there's truth to both sides of this discussion here. Darnell Mooney coming to Justin Fields' defense as well. And by the way, that's a receiver that has not had good chemistry with Justin on the field this season. He said Justin Fields is the quarterback of the future. He's the franchise quarterback. He's been balling. I don't understand why it's any more questions. Now, again, has he been balling? I wouldn't put Justin Fields in the balling category. I'd say he's been playing pretty well. We went over it earlier. I don't think his stat line yesterday showed nearly the full picture of how he played. Again, I didn't think he was great yesterday, but if Robert Tonyan catches a ball and if the 2 interceptions on Hail Marys that shouldn't count don't actually count, it actually looks a whole lot better. But that's life in the NFL, playing quarterback. Sometimes things don't go your way from a statistical standpoint. Here's the reality. Ryan Poles, he has to do what he thinks is best for the Bears. That's the job. If that means pissing off a locker room for the short term, then yeah, if he's that sold on Caleb Williams or Drake Maye, that's just something you have to do as a GM. Players aren't going to like it. I'll tell you that right now. Players in that locker room love Justin Fields. That's a fact. They do. Now, they're also paid professional athletes. I don't think trading Fields is just going to completely bury the team and have players quit on the team. But I will say this. You make that move and you're wrong about it, it's probably a move that gets you fired a couple years down the line. So he better be right. If he moves on from Justin Fields for a different quarterback, he better be right about it because he's very popular in that locker room. He's very popular among a good chunk of the fan base. And by the way, he's very popular among other players, teams, and coaches in this league. I think players and coaches in this league view Justin Fields in a higher regard than media members do. I really do believe that. You hear players come out all the time talking about how they feel about Justin Fields. So, listen, it's just one of those deals that Ryan Poles has to man up and understand what his job is, which I think he does. He has a pretty cool, calm demeanor, and then make a decision what he thinks is best for the future of the franchise. Now, what would you do? Put yourself in Ryan Poles' shoes. All these factors come into play. You get the number 1 or number 2 pick at worst. What are you doing with Justin Fields? You trading him or are you keeping him? Type T for trade, K for keep. Get your votes in the comments section below. Matt Eberflus went on the defense this morning. He does run this team's defense, so little pun on words here. He wasn't asked anything that forced him to play defense, but his opening statement, I felt like I was at a presidential town hall or something and listening to a politician trying to convince me of something. this is a snippet of it here, and there was certainly more to it, so feel free to go listen to yourself. I posted a clip of it. The Bears obviously tweeted out his full press conference. But I found this fascinating. He said, since week 11, we have 12 interceptions and 14 takeaways, so that's a big positive. Both leading the NFL in that stretch. A 4-game stretch with 2+ interceptions. That's been the first time since 2018. That's been really good. 14 points off turnovers yesterday, which is really good. This is just kind of exhausting to me because, like, first of all, you're unprompted and, like, it felt so forced. Like, hey, I just want everybody out there to understand how good we've actually been playing in certain areas, especially defense, which, again, we've been over this. Yes, the defense has been a lot better. Flus can run a defense. That's not the full part of the equation here. But it's just like, who are you trying to sell? Like, who are you trying to convince with that chunk? No one even asked you a question. Like, again, it does not take someone with an unbelievably high IQ, a genius, to understand the defense as much as improved. You don't even need those stats. Just watch the games. The defense is a lot better. It has gotten better, which, to Flus's credit, he gave Montez Sweat credit for that as well later on in his opening statement. But you're the head coach. That is the question. Is he good enough or not to be this team's head coach? You guys ask me all the time, do you think he would just stay as the DC? I've told you why I don't think there's any chance that would happen. Sure, in a perfect world, that'd be cool, but I don't think he has that little self-worth to listen to Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles be like, hey, man, we don't think you're good enough to be our head coach, but we want to keep you as a DC. That would literally shock the entire football community if he accepted that demotion. But, again, as a head coach, I don't think he's good enough as a head coach. I just don't. And coming up, we'll continue this discussion, and NFL Insider, one of the top ones, discuss Flus and his status based on what he's been hearing, so stay tuned for that. But, man, it's just, I don't know. It just, that felt so forced from Matt Eberflus. Like, it felt like he was trying to sell us with that statement about what he's been bringing to the table. Now, speaking of money, you can make some with PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS to get a $100 deposit match when you sign up this holiday season, which I encourage you guys to do so when you make your player entries, every 2 to 6 players on those player entries. Tonight, Monday Night Football special, you can get $5 for every made field goal, depending on if you pick Jake Elliott or Jason Myers, whichever kicker for Philly and Seattle you want to take. So you can kind of get some extra ched with that. Check out full details on PrizePicks today. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS. Daily holiday specials leading up to Christmas as well. So it's the perfect time to hop on board. You can play other sports too. NBA, college football, college basketball, NHL, some esports. It's all available. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS today. Is Matt Eberflus going to return in 2024? He's selling us like a politician, as he would. 2024, big election year, by the way. Adam Schefter gave a status update on Matt Eberflus on the Pat McAfee show earlier today. Here's what he had to say. My understanding going into the weekend with Eberflus is they had 1-2 in a row, which, by the way, that's not your understanding. That's just a fact. They had put together some strong performances. They played very well yesterday. They had a real chance to win that game in Cleveland. I think he's won some support here, and I think that he's fighting to keep his job, and he has a chance to save his job in Chicago. So it's a little loose. It's not hardcore reporting. Like he said, based on what he's been told, that there's some support there. Like he's not saying anything definitive. Basically, I take that report that the Bears have not made a decision here. They're still evaluating Matt Eberflus. Here's what I know. Number one, the Bears under Flus continue to set records that you don't want to set. They have tied an NFL record in a single season for the most fourth quarter 10 or more point leads blown in a single season. And by the way, there's three weeks to go. They've done it 3 times this year. We talked about this earlier today. We'll bring it up again. Fourth quarter collapses, up 28-7 late in the third quarter. Denver did score to cut it to 14, but still it was 10+ to start the fourth. It was 28-14 in the fourth quarter. But I wanted to just outline how big of a collapse that one was. Week 11, up 26-14 with 4:15 left. Can't close. Week 15, which was yesterday, up 10 with 12:30 left. And yeah, it's a lot more time. Okay, whatever. But bad weather, 38-year-old Joe Flacco on the other side. Defense has been cooking. You can't find a way. You can't close that game out. Like, the bar just feels so low to me we talked about this earlier. Like, yes, the Bears are improved. Yes, Flus can coach defense. It's got to be about more than that. Like, are we so terrified as a fan base that if they fire Flus, the defense is going to fall apart next year? They've got the pieces. Like, you've got Montez Sweat now. You can add another key defensive lineman. You've got a lot of cap space. The linebacker room might be the best in the NFL, if not top 3. The secondary is sick, man. Tyreek Stevenson's growing up every week. Jalen Johnson's going to be here, whether it's on a contract or a franchise tag. Got to make a decision on Eddie Jackson, but if you cut him, you free up even more cap space. You could sign another safety. Like, the defense is not going to collapse without Matt Eberflus if you want to upgrade head coach. Like, let's not freak out about that. Like, you can find a better head coach and still have this defense be damn good next year. Like, guys, we've got to elevate the standards here in Chicago. Please grade Matt Eberflus as a head coach. A, B, C, D, or F. I mean, C-, D+, things I'll give him credit for. This team keeps fighting for him. The locker room has stayed together despite 2 coaches having to leave suspiciously, despite all the losses they've endured. So, like, yes, he's been able to accomplish certain things. The guy's 8-22. They've blown fourth quarter lead after fourth quarter lead. Like, defensive coordinator, I'd probably give him an A, A-. Head coach, borderline passing grade. And again, I think you can do a lot better, for being completely honest. All right, subscribe to the channel. We are 54 subs away from 82,000. Go check out our video from earlier today. I explored the hot seat status of Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy, and Justin Fields. You can go back at our post-game show yesterday if you really want to revisit that. We have weekly live watch parties as well. We'll be live again this week against the Arizona Cardinals. Daily videos, live shows every Monday, Thursday, and game day. Multiple videos on non-live days. Hit that sub button. Join the movement. We're building here at Bears Now, trying to get to 82,000. Then, of course, the big goal is 100,000 subscribers. Appreciate the support. If you haven't joined us yet, please do. It's 100% free. On a positive note, Montez Sweat's a star. Montez Sweat is an absolute star. The trade, you never want to declare a trade won or lost this early, but I'm going to do it. The Bears have won this trade. You got this guy for a second-round pick, and yeah, Washington keeps losing, so that pick's fairly high in the second round. Who cares, though, man? This is not a Claypool situation. We want to talk about the defense being a lot better. Sure, Flus deserves credit. Montez Sweat deserves a lot of credit. What did Ryan Poles call him when they made that move? A multiplier. Not only has he been dominant, 6 sacks, 31 pressures, 13 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks yesterday, players around him have gotten a lot better. Sweat's impact has been a dominant one. There's just no way to say it hasn't been. He's been unreal. That first game when he had only practiced like once, it was we didn't see like a huge impact. But since then, the last 5 weeks, he's been one of the best players in the NFL. I mean, he really has. He's getting after the quarterback. He's even better as a pass rusher since he left Washington. Like, it really makes you wonder what was going on there. He's always been a great run defender. He's been kind of an up and down pass rusher. He's been dominant here. What a great trade that's been. And you get him under contract. Like, imagine if you waited. That price tag would be going up even higher. I mean, they signed him, and he's played better than he ever has. So kudos to Ryan Poles and his staff for making that move. That was certainly a good one, and he should be a key piece for years to come. Show Montez Sweat some love. Get the 98s going in the chat. He's been repping 98 since he came over, and he's been balling out at a high level. So type 98 if you're fired up about Montez Sweat. All right, guys, appreciate everybody for making it to the end of this video. If you did, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, all that stuff. Appreciate all your love and support. If you're watching live, stay tuned. More to come.